Hey guys, so excited to help you guys out. So this is a 342-page book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. My goal is to break down the 7 habits and summarize them, share all the golden nuggets with you guys in the shortest amount of time possible. So habit number 1 is being proactive instead of being reactive. And to understand being proactive, you have to understand the opposite, being a reactive person, which by default, I think all human beings are reactive. And this is something I've been guilty of myself, is when the weather's bad and there's a snowstorm outside, I'm just like, man, this sucks. That is being a reactive person. Now, being a proactive person is completely different. They're completely unaffected by the weather. They're unaffected by politics. They're unaffected by the news. It doesn't faze them because they're value-driven people. They have their own life, their own routines, their own things that make them happy, and it's becoming a better person and adding value to other people. Because of that, those outside sources don't affect them. Covey pounds this principle that the world sees success from the outside in. He says real success always starts from the inside out. Just like an iceberg, just the top of the iceberg is showing, it's usually like 10 or 20% of the entire piece of ice. The whole 80% underneath there, what all the true success is, that is the exact same thing as your character and who you are as a person. The world sees the top of the iceberg, AKA the money, the car you drive, the house you have, what kind of job position you have, how many followers you have on social media. Real success comes from your character, your heart, and your intentions, and your knowledge, and how much value you can actually bring to other people. So the principle starts from the inside out. Who you become as a person will affect your influence and your success, AKA the outward appearance to other people. This lines up perfectly with Jim Rohn's philosophy, Tony Robbins, that if you want to become successful, if you want more money, rather than working hard on your job, work harder on yourself. If you want more, you have to become more, AKA inside out. So Covey gives great examples of types of communication, and it could be even an internal dialogue of what you're telling yourself, of reactive people and how they think, and then proactive people and how they think. I want you guys to listen to the communication and the thought process and how they're different, okay? So reactive people tend to say things like, it's not my fault. I don't have any control, or this sucks. This stinks. There's nothing I can do about it. That makes me so mad when he does that. Oh, they won't allow that. I can't even ask them. I have to do that. That's not going to be fun. If only there was something I could do. So that's what it sounds like to be a reactive thinker. That's the internal dialogue. I think we've all been guilty of that at some point in time. It's not about eliminating it completely, my personal opinion. I don't think anybody can be perfect at that. It's more about eliminating as much of that type of internal dialogue, that negative self-talk, as possible. Now, the proactive language sounds more like this. Let's look at our alternatives. Let's look at the options. I might not be able to control everything in the situation, but I can control my feelings and how I react to it. I can choose an appropriate response. I prefer, I will, I can, I get the opportunity to. So this positive mindset, it's not just about blind optimism. It's a cognitive choice. And he talks about how happiness and unhappiness, they're both a choice. It's not about what happens to us that defines us and defines our happiness and our success in life. It's how we choose to react to the situations and opportunities that come our way, positive or negative. I believe sometimes God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, throws things at us. And sometimes a challenge could be just the thing you need to grow and become a better person. It's just your perspective on how you think about it. If you want to become a better person and attract more success in your life, it starts with what you think. From there, that translates into how you feel about things. From there, he talks about how you feel will dictate your behavior, and how you behave, how you act, the things you do. We all know that's going to affect our success, our trajectory in life, and how much happiness we have and how much influence we have as well. That's habit number 1, being proactive rather than being a reactive person. Let me give you an example of a proactive student and a reactive student. They both go take a test and they both do poorly. The reactive student blames the teacher. After all, the teacher was not the best, was not very clear on the expectations or how hard the test would be. The reactive student blames the teacher and the circumstance and how it's not their fault. The proactive student says, teacher, how can I do better? What can I improve so that I don't do this again? That's mindset and perspective, has a lot to do with how successful you are, because it determines whether you're going to be a proactive or a reactive person. If you're proactive, you're in control. If you're reactive, proactive, you're not in control. And it's a choice. No matter what the situation is, you have a choice. Even if the choice is just how you think or respond. Within just habit number one, your life will be very different because you'll establish a foundation that starts from the inside and works out. And he says your circle of influence is dictated by your level of proactivity. The more proactive of a person you are, the larger that circle of influence grows. And on the contrary, the more reactive of a person you are, your circle of influence, aka your leadership opportunities, will be diminished and decreased. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more.